Hello, and welcome back to Body Wars. Last episode, this Camaro was our victor between the three modern muscle cars, this Camaro, Shelby GT500, and the Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Now, we have a new group for this week's this episode's of Body Wars. So, we'll have the Camaro back out for now, and say hello to our large group that we got this time. We've now doubled our field for this episode. However, there happens to be a certain division here. We have Chrysler versus Chevy. Now normally it's Ford versus Chevy, however, I happen to have a bit more Chrysler models than I do Ford, at least in the classic era here that fit on this chassis. So, we're going to pin these together. However, there's also something else that's a little different about this, and that's the fact that we're on a slot track. Not the longest track in the world, however, it's decently long. So, the fight that we're going to have between these cars is going to be straight drag racing. Now, there's one little nitpick that we have to add in here, partly more of a handicap than anything, and that is this, our launch pad. As you can see, it is 2 strips of blue tape. So, what's going to happen? I'll line these up here. And basically, it's going to be a handicap, so then we're going to have a bit of wheel spin here, and then it'll grip there, and get running down the line. However, right here, so we're always going to have the car start here, and then I have a miscolored wheel to go on the back of it here. This is going to be so then it can launch, and then we'll be able to mark how much it has a wheel spin of. And then go down the track, then we have some finishing tape down there, and that'll mark the end of the race. So, we'll have to get some of these together here, and as well show you the cars and their specs, and then we'll get right to racing. Alright, we're going to do the same thing that we did last time, and so that we're going to weigh the chassis, and then we'll weigh each body individually. So, we're obviously going to have to remove this, turn it on, and then we'll weigh our chassis. Now, our chassis this time around weighs 125 grams. Okay, so it's not too heavy. Actually, I think it's even lighter than the chassis we used last time. Oh, it's a lot lighter than last time. Granted, this isn't all-wheel drive, it's only rear-wheel drive. Yeah, it's not all-wheel drive, it's only rear-wheel drive, so it's a lot lighter. However, even though the chassis is lighter, I can guarantee these bodies are going to be heavy. So, let's take a look. Now, if you remember, our Camaro last time weighed only 39 grams. So, I would say that's decently light. However, once we start getting into these other bodies here, we're going to note that they're decently heavy. So, first start off with our 67 Chevelle. We're going to put it on there, and our starting weight is 42 grams. Not too bad. It weighs, what, lighter than the Challenger, but heavier than the Mustang from last time. Nova. Ooh, a beefy boy at 48 grams, a solid 6 grams heavier than that Chevelle. Now, granted, we're not dealing with cornering, so this car would corner like absolute trash compared to that Chevelle, let alone this Camaro here. However, this is straight line and grip, so if a heavy car means more grip to the tires, this Nova might have a chance. Next up we have our blue 70 Chevelle. It is coming in at 43 grams, so for some reason the Chevelles are kind of light. However, it is 1 gram heavier than our 70 Chevelle, and doesn't have as much junk in the trunk as the green Chevelle, so it might not put down as much grip on the rear as it. However, that solid 1 gram more might come in handy. Gotta move around a bit so I can get the other cars. Just bring them over here. I think I already know which one might be the heaviest. Okay. Next up we have our green 70 Cuda. Whew. Got a new lightest car at 40 grams. So, this green Cuda here, one of my nicer looking ones here, and I was not expecting it to weigh 40 grams and be our... Okay, can you not do that? Okay, it decided to gain a pound just because it was offended, but either way, it is now our lightest car. So this car could see the worst traction, potentially, or it could see the highest acceleration. Either or, it's going to be interesting to note. Next up, Dodge Coronet Superbee, and we're coming in at an off. Okay, be like that. It's going to weigh a hefty 49 grams, so far our heaviest car. Then again, it's also the biggest car we threw on here. I don't know why the Nova is as heavy as it is, considering it's, well, one of the smaller cars. However, it's probably just for the density of the infill that was used to print it. And now lastly, got one more car, and this might be the heaviest that we got here. Oh my god, 55 grams. A solid 15 or 14, depending on how we want to count it, heavier than our lightest car. So unlike our first Body Wars, to where we had a small margin of difference in weight, here we have a huge margin of a whole 15 grams. So this will be the interesting fight to see whether or not weight means better or worse for drag racing, let alone starting launch. We're not going to be doing any burnouts for increased grip. We're just going to see how these tires are affected by just how they are. So, we'll start off, and I think I remember what order the lightest to heaviest, so I think we'll start from the lightest and go up to the heaviest. Starting off with our lightest car, we have our green Plymouth Barracuda. It actually gets a pretty good launch at the start, and it finishes with a time of 1.5 seconds. Next up is our 67 Chevelle, and it is an absolute lightning bolt. This thing completes the track in 1.3 seconds, 0.2 seconds faster than the Cuda. Next up is the blue 70 Chevelle. Now you'd think that with how the cars have been turning out, with the heavier they get faster, this car actually tends to be the complete turnaround. This actually gets the exact same time as the Cuda, 1.5 seconds on our drag strip. Breaking into a completely different weight class from the other three, we have our Nova sitting at a hefty 48 grams. This car does our drag strip in 1.4 seconds, beating the Chevelle. Next up in our heavyweight division, we have our purple Dodge Superbee. This car takes off pretty well. It is not the fastest, however. It is close, so it comes to 1.36 seconds down our drag strip. And the last car in the heavyweight division is our Plymouth Superbird. While this car is the heaviest and still clocks a pretty good time, 1.36 seconds, tying our Superbee. While it might be heavier than it, most of that additional weight is on the front. Alright, so as probably all these episodes that we're going to have our reigning champion from last episode sit on and watch the inaugural session here. However, it's going to be another Chevy that's going to be joining it, as our winner was our 67 Chevelle. This car happened to be the second lightest, and somehow happened to be the fastest, because our previous order is definitely very different from that. And that came in at 1.3 seconds. So, you get to come over here, Chevelle, and join your younger Chevy brethren. And then, as the list goes on down here, it goes from heaviest to lightest. So, even though these two tied, I'm going to give more preps to the heavier car, considering it's towing a lot more load. So second place is our Superbird. Third place, tying second, is our purple Dodge Superbee. Fourth place, we have our yellow Chevrolet Nova. This car happens to be, the lightest out of the heavyweight group, and it happened to come fourth. These two cars down here tied. However, because the Chevelle's heavier than the Cuda, we're going to give the Chevelle the 5th place spot. And then 6th place, still only 0.2 seconds slower than our 1st place spot. But then again, in such a short race, that's quite a difference, is our Hemi Cuda. So, and there we have it.
Now, we do want to give a special thanks to our helping person.
Oh.
You coming? Come on.
Hello.
Where are you going?
Right here.
Okay. Anything you want to say?
Subscribe to QuickBobHero/YouTube.com. And you'll catch me uploading maybe twice a year.
Nice. Alrighty. Everyone, well, hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new. I'm trying to get more content out like this. It's kind of hard, but now that school is completely over, hopefully we can get some more out. So, see you in the next one. Bye.
Alright, ready for the countdown.
3, 2, 1. Oh.
Oh, I jumped.